we got it set up. Do we want to do any sort of visual bit with that banner or anything hung up? Is that just going to be too much effort?
We can do that. We can do the dip sign. I think it would be hard to try to get it set up. Just because I don't have a lot of like thumbtacks or anything. I don't have any thumbtacks.
Let's just
roll with it.
Alright, we are recording here. So we're going to do this. I'm going to do this. We're going to do it a couple times just to like give me a couple bench places.
Where to line up.
Where to line up the audio. I actually stole that from Nigahiga. You ever watch Nigahiga much?
No.
Like that. That's actually like a fun little way to do that too.
Alright.
Welcome to the first podcast of Ear Biscuits. Wait, I think it's been taken. This is the Joe Rogan experience. Wait.
Welcome to Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I actually do watch a podcast called, what is it called? It's a, totally blanking. Fuck.
I can't help you here.
Don't worry about it then. It's a podcast by NPR. I actually listen
Nobody else cares.
Nobody does. No, not a single person. Anyway, welcome back. This is official first podcast of... We don't know the title yet. We're off to a great start.
Welcome back. This is the first podcast.
What can I say, Nick? We're naturals at this. We have a gift for talking to our audience. But we're diving in. So, Nick, it's nice to see you today, buddy. We haven't seen you in a...
It's been a hot minute.
The fans haven't seen you in a hot minute.
Yeah, I just realized I'm looking over at my outlet over there on the wall, and no, that's my box. That's my Apple box.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah, sorry.
Then forget about it. We're off to a great start.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. This is funny. This is good. So
the CD people will be so confused.
CD people?
Yeah, because typically you listen to podcasts just no
visual.
audio,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to know what's happening.
This is taping,
but
this is like the TV version.
We're going to go ahead and post the video,
yeah.
too. Yeah. Streaming on all services that are YouTube. That's the only service we'll be streaming on.
I have a flag back here in the corner.
Do you want to pull the flag?
No.
We have a different flag.
I don't want to pull that flag.
Yeah, so...
Give the golden goose a gander.
Give the golden goose a gander. For those listening auditorially and not visually, it's a great flag. It's actually a flag that I wholeheartedly am happy that Nick got. I'm kidding a little bit. Nick, would you like to share?
You're not thinking about the flag that I have. You're thinking of a different flag that I have. I have 3 flags. One of them you hate, and 2 of them you love.
Okay.
And you are...
I can think of one that I...
Just look back there and look at the colors and you'll know what it is.
Why? You showed me that flag. I hate that flag.
Yeah, and you just said you like it.
Well, I'm being facetious. I'm joking. Facetious
I'm a bad YouTuber. My phone keeps going off.
Don't worry about it. Facetious is like...
Is he one of those Asian people that was like Confucius?
He might have been. I don't actually know the origin of the word.
Mary J. Blige.
Confucius say,
what?
Sleep with itchy butthole, wake with smelly finger.
Can you fact check that? Can we fact check that, please?
This is going to be a good test of our first bit of contest. We're going to get in here and use our laptop here. Is it going to be useful for this? Did Confucius, how do you spell it? Yeah, Confucius say sleep with
itchy butthole, wake with smelly finger.
We're going to get a little bit of ASMR with these finger clacks here because we have our audio device set up there.
Damn it.
Hello? According to this Reddit post... Oh, we're getting a call.
Hey.
Did you see chat by chance about what JP offered?
I have not, but I will check.
Well, basically, once you check, he wants to hang out with me. So we can go and get McDonald's. I was just gonna ask if you and Payne wanted to join and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down. I ate not too long ago, but I'll still go.
Already ate or anything.
Yeah, but I'll still go, though. It's a good fun time to hang out with people.
I heard JP, and I got distracted. What was the other thing?
To go to McDonald's and eat with them.
Oh,
or
yeah.
hang out with them or
I'd do
whatever.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd go.
Okay, epic.
Epic.
Epic sauce.
Hey, that's a
Sorry,
poggers in
I
chat.
interrupted you two during a talk or anything.
No, you're all good, man. You're all good.
Alright.
Do you actually...
I'm literally on my way there, so I should be there in less than 45 minutes.
Okay, drive safe, Pumpkin.
Yeah, for real. Those cops, dude, they're vultures.
Shut up.
Alright.
They are.
Alright, love you, buddy.
Bye.
So, it does not appear as though Confucius did say that. It's a Reddit post. But this thread on r/deep philosophy, and we can actually, I could screen record.
Sorry. I'm a bad YouTuber.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, but I don't remember how to. It doesn't actually matter. It's just a thread. The user's deleted. Confucius also say, though, person replies underneath, man who farts in church sits on pew. And he who stands on toilet is high on pots. Those are wise words by Mr. Confucius.
This has nothing to do with Confucius.
This has nothing to do with Confucius, actually.
But
nothing to do with what we were going to talk
actually
about.
happened with me and my significant other. We were laying in my bed, which is in my back room back here. And
that's the toilet room.
I live in a studio apartment. Oh. But we were laying there, and I wear glasses, as you can see if you're watching this. But we were laying in bed, and as one does when you sleep, you take off your glasses.
Oh, yeah.
So I took them off, and I had worn glasses the entire day because I wear glasses to see legally. And she blew. She went like
a little.
Yeah, just
a little bit more ASMR for you guys. Wow.
Blew into my eyeball, and I was like, God. And I'm gonna sound like a dick and like I hate women, but I don't. I don't hate women.
We don't hate women.
This was all in comedy, and this is a more of you had to be there story, but I think it's one of the funniest things that I've ever done in my life. But
sure.
She goes, I was like, my contact, or however you pronounce it. And she goes, oh my God, baby, are you wearing contacts? And I said, no, you idiot, I wear glasses. It makes me sound like a complete ass. But,
it doesn't make you sound like a dick to women. It just makes you sound like a dick. So, you are a dick to a woman. That doesn't make you a dick to a woman.
I'd rather be a dick than a punk-ass bitch any day of the week.
Word up, brother. We just did a cool fist bump, if you are listening. No, there's nothing wrong with just being a dick for comedy. I'm a dick for comedy all the time.
Do you think it's justifiable to be a dick when you're telling jokes, even if people get upset?
So, here's the thing. Comedy has a special right, I think. This is a legitimate thing. I think comedy has a special right to cross lines that, people draw of, what's acceptable. Yeah. You have to know when to cross those lines, though. I think comedy is able to. That's, kind of the point. A lot of the times you can talk about really serious things in comic manners, but you gotta know when, and you gotta know your audience. So, in short, yeah, I definitely think you can be a dick with comedy. It's hilarious.
Yes.
But you can't do it all the time, and you definitely can't do it when it's not the right time.
True. Okay. Because I was just asking, because I watched the other day, I watched a stand-up special of Chris D'Elia. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
You see the guy with the hair?
It looks like an eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, love the dude. He's hilarious. Watch it. It's funny.
I will. Okay.
But there's a bit he did that I just drew from there when I said, I'd rather be a dick than be a punk-ass bitch. And he's talking, but in his stand, in his, bit he's doing, he's talking about, it's okay to be a little racist with jokes. And there's and he goes, you got to be able to read. It's a slippery slope, but I believe he handled it well. Did it because he just doesn't care, and I respect that, and it's funny. And he's meaning no ill manner by it, in my opinion. He's meaning no ill manner, and I'm not a racist. I shouldn't have said that.
Anybody that's ever said that sounds more like a racist after that.
I mean, you have stories to tell, but you I'm not a racist by any means.
No, sir. No, literally, actually, objectively, not.
But in this joke he's telling, he says the joke, I forget what it was, but it wasn't funny at all. But some people laughed. Some people laughed at it, and he goes, well, like he's mocking, well, Chris, the people, that's racist. He goes, well, I'd rather be a racist than a punk-ass bitch any day of the week. And he goes, and if you think that is me being completely honest, you're stupid and you don't understand comedy. Which it just takes a turn, which in my opinion is hilarious.
That's actually, objectively true comedy. I'm sorry, that's me being a motherfucker.
That was me being a motherfucker. I worked with a dude, and the way he said motherfucker, he goes, you muddy fucker. And, I'm not going to tell you where I work. It's not the Pepsi Max Corporation. I don't even know if they make Pepsi Max anymore.
I don't work with NASA, so we're just
legally
misleading you.
Legally, not a sponsor.
Not NASA.
But,
I did air quotes.
We were... Shut up. But we were sitting there, and with a bunch of guys, and I'm 20 years old, and I work with a lot of 40-plus men, and it's how men talk, like locker room talk, and it's always like, oh, your mom, whenever the line would slow down, hey, where are we down at? Your mom's house. That's hilarious.
That's funny.
That's comedy.
Yeah.
And the way he would always try to inject that, it's like, hey, what are you doing? Your mom. And I would just ignore him because it would get funnier as time would go on if I were to ignore him. Because, hey, what are you guys doing? Your mom. Your mom.
Fuck, I shouldn't
ass.
already be laughing.
Your mom's asshole. Your mom's ass. And he'd get closer to me. And that's where he would think he'd be funny. But initially, he's not. But I make him funny.
You know what's really funny? That strategy is one that I employ regularly. Not necessarily being made funny by somebody else,
no,
but doing the same joke over and over again until it becomes
comedy
funny.
Comes in threes. You got to do it at least 3 times, and you're guaranteed a chuckle.
Comes in threes.
But
the more you do it, the funnier it becomes. Especially if it's mundane and stupid.
A 3 is a guaranteed chuckle. Is a chuckle.
If you do something.
If you do anything past 3, you'll work your way up to a laugh. I'll even dare to say, laugh.
Yeah, and I thought about saying a joke and then saying it 2 more times, but I couldn't think of a good joke to start off with. It's actually not true. I thought of a good joke. I couldn't think of a way to tell the joke, so I'm not going to tell it yet. I'll find a place to put it in there, and then I'll put it in 2 more times, and then it'll be really funny.
I hate you.
Oh, you can chuckle. You can laugh if you want to.
You've only said it once.
It's so much.
Another thing, that my significant other has said.
Back to that, yeah.
We were, I went and talked to her the other night, and we were sitting there, and, she's like, what kind of husband do you see yourself being?
Oh.
And I was like, I don't know. And she asked me, and I turned it into a joke, and I made fun of her a lot. Maybe I am a dick to women.
Well,
but I'll get to all that.
Jury's still out.
I'll get to all that. So, which will actually lead me into a different conversation, which I'm excited to have because I'm very passionate about it. Well, but we were sitting there, and we were talking, and I forgot my train of thought.
You were...
Oh, about the type of husband I was going to be. So, there's a clap. Match up audio. But she was like, are you going to be one of the husbands that sits there and oh, my bitch of a wife back at the house? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to be that husband. And she's like, why? I'm like, because that's hilarious. Yep. And she goes, but will you mean it? And I'm like, no. No, 99% of the husbands out there who are like, yeah, the old ball and chains locked up the house like fucking Fort Knox, You got to ask her about the financial situation so she'll get her panties in a twist. That's just what guys do. That's what old men do.
It's like the typical boomer humor.
Yeah, boomer.
Dad, you should get a Wi-Fi box. Wi-Fi? I already have one of those. A Wi-Fi? Hey. I'll put the actual
iPod, iPhone, I peed.
I committed war crimes in Yugoslavia. Well, I'll put.
Well.
So for those of you
listening,
I hope you get the image, but
watch it on
watching,
YouTube.
I'm gonna put right about here. See that box that I made? I'm gonna put the memes.
And we're gonna put a hand right here in front of my face, just like my hand is now. Don't do it, because then it would be hilarious.
You know what I thought about doing immediately?
No, I don't know. Tell me.
I will. I thought about cropping out your hand in
And
Photoshop and just putting your hand slightly bigger onto your hand. So, like, you can tell it's bigger, but it's still your hand. So, like...
That makes a lot of sense.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be funny.
Alright. Now, my passionate topic here.
Yeah, okay.
What's your favorite type of apple?
Oh, so I'm actually... I like that topic. I'm actually really fond of Fuji apples. And,
Is it Fuji apple or Fiji? Fiji doesn't make apples.
Fiji does not make apples.
No, this is a Daniel Tosh bit, and I'm not stealing it from him. Thank you, Daniel Tosh. Because he also talks about apples, and he goes, Fiji doesn't make apples. I'm an idiot. He goes, I love the Fiji water. What about the Fiji apples? Wait, those are Fuji. What am I talking about?
What are you talking about? Oh, you did.
Daniel Tosh. It's the bit, but
yeah,
I'm actually passionate. I love apples.
Apples are great.
You like Fuji?
I like Fuji.
Fiji,
I do like Granny Smith. And the Golden Delicious, I think, are the three that I know.
Call me a basic bitch, if you will. Just a simple Sam.
Simple Sam apple?
But no.
Oh.
Call me a simple Sam, if you will.
If I will.
Simple Sam. Will. Simple Sam. The Honeycrisp. The Honeycrisp.
I did that twice.
Apples. The Honeycrisp apples are the greatest apples ever, in my opinion. They're so good.
I don't know if I've had them recently enough to
There's
say,
a place
but I know that I like
that's
them.
close to us, Appleworks. You've heard of it.
Oh, yeah, I've never been there.
They grow Honeycrisp. It's an apple orchard. They grow a bunch of apples there, and they sell a bunch of stuff. They have caramel corn that's absolutely to die for. It's amazing.
Or do they have caramel corn?
I'm going to ignore that.
As you should.
I say caramel. I also say crowns, the things you color with. Crowns, not crayons. Or crayons. My grandma called them colors. Yeah, the colors. She's an old Southern woman. But the Honeycrisp is amazing. And I was having this conversation with my significant other because she was telling me that one of her professors was being the husband that just complains about your wife at school. And I thought that was hilarious. And she goes, yeah, he was up there just kind of venting to us that him and his wife got into an argument on which apple is the best apple. I'm like, that's amazing. And I said,
those are the good arguments. Those are fun arguments.
What is your favorite apple? And she goes, well, I really like the green ones. And I immediately cut her off. And she's like, why? I go, I don't care about what you're going to say because you don't know the names of the apples. You're like, the green ones. Yeah. And she goes, well, what do you like? I go, Honeycrisp. She goes, what is that? She doesn't... And then I went, well, the green ones are good, but now I like the red ones. And now the oranger ones are kind of good, too. And then she laughed. Okay. She laughed a lot.
That seemed like the type of joke that she may have laughed at.
Well, the green ones are real good, but...
You know what that reminds me of?
Not at all. Tell me.
So, in the sake of keeping anonymity, mine. It's reference. So, in the sake of keeping anonymity, I'm not gonna say any names, but we have this bit between us as our friends. He has an ex-girlfriend that goes to the same college that I do, and the bit is
she broke up with him.
She broke up with him. He cried for a long time. Don't worry about it. He's good now. Look at him. The bit is because we're on the same campus, but it's a big campus, right? So I never see her, but we have friends.
It's University of Utah is where they go.
It's not, but point is sometimes friends see her, and Nick. We've come up with this bit where it's just like bring up him as many times as possible if you have a conversation.
It's gonna be hilarious.
And I've never ever I've seen her once on campus. Didn't actually talk to her. I was on a bus.
Just ran her over. No, he didn't do that.
I did.
Stop! It's only funny to you. Nobody else is laughing.
3 times, maybe. Anyway, the bit is simply that I would never see her, but keep saying I would see her. One of my favorites that I ever did, and I truly do think the joke was hilarious. I went up to him, I was like, hey Nick, I did see Sedona, and you said...
I forget.
Well, I was just like, you said, oh, did you? What'd you say?
Oh, did you? What'd you say to her?
And she was in Target, actually. I work at Target. She was in Target, and I walked up to her. She's in toilet paper aisle. I said, do you need toilet paper for the home? And she said, what? And I said, toilet paper for a poopy butthole.
Oh.
For a poopy butthole.
Speaking of accents, there's another thing that you say with an accent that's really funny, but I'm gonna lead up to that. I was watching a documentary not too long ago called McMillions.
I thought you were gonna say Tiger King.
No, I've watched Tiger King. I've
Tiger
watched
King.
Tiger King. But I've been watching McMillions. I've McFarlane.
Oh wait,
but
I was gonna watch that.
McMillions,
The one on Hulu.
really good,
yeah.
really good.
Okay.
And there's a name called the Colombo family, and they're big Italian organized crime, and I immediately thought of swimming with them worms.
Oh my god! See, whenever I made that joke, I did not expect that to become such a big deal for us.
Why'd
as
you
a friend
emphasize
group.
on come? Become.
Oh, I didn't mean to. It's come.
Stop.
It's really funny though.
It's not funny.
Sorry. But Jackbox, play the game Jackbox. It's a game.
Lost.
Point doesn't actually matter. I made the joke. It was my response. It was hilarious, and I'm glad that to this day we still find it funny as a group because I thought it was really funny. I laughed coming up with it.
Giggles work.
But so I'm gonna switch gears here. We kind of hit a lull here, and I was waiting to bring this up because
lull at all.
Oh well.
Lull Road. It all comes back to lull, so we'll get there.
Lol. That's LOL out loud. I'm sorry. Quit staring at me like that.
To be totally H.
Hey, what the TH are you? Wait, I messed it up.
What the HE double fuck are you doing here?
Who the TF are you, bro? I thought I thought of that one today. Actually, I thought it was so funny. Who the TF are you? Who the fuck are you? Okay. What? I was gonna bring up.
Yeah, that was funny as AF, dude. As fuck, if you didn't know what AF.
As fuck.
As fuck.
Yeah. As AF. As fuck. This
fuck.
I was watching the show on Netflix. Started watching the show, and it's a show that I know you love, and it's a show called Dexter.
Yes.
And I figured you would be really happy to hear that I started watching it.
Not a sponsor. Yes.
I love that show so
Do you
much.
understand why I relate to Dexter a lot?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You don't know. Dexter's a show.
They'll figure it out. No.
Dexter's a show about a guy who's a cop by day. He works in blood spatter analysis, but he's actually a serial killer, and he only kills people that he deems as bad people. Other serial killers, rapists, people of that sort.
Tax fraud.
I've only watched 5 episodes. I don't know, but
You'll
so
see.
far I love it.
Tax evasion's the biggest crime you'll ever see in that entire thing.
I hate tax evasion.
Yoshi's still
you know
out
what really
there.
grinds my gears?
Alpina.
It's a great show so far. I think it is awesome. I think it's so interesting, but it's kind of funny. It's one of the because the first season came out in 2006. I think. Yes. I looked it up. It's one of those things where having grown up a little bit now, I'm 20 years old as well. Looking back to 2006, 14 years ago, it's really funny to see how far we've come, and really interesting to see the way these shows are or were versus how they are now. And I just think that's interesting as well.
Yeah, I was watching Paradise PD the other day. It's on Netflix. Funny show, in my opinion. A lot of people don't like it, but it's basically Brickleberry. I'm not sure if it's made by the same crew and all that stuff, but Brickleberry was on Comedy Central for a while, and it had Daniel Tosh in it. And that show got canceled. They had one season because it didn't do too well. But they had a crossover episode, and it was really funny. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Tosh hated being on that show so much, he had 5 lines in all 3 episodes that there was a crossover. I think that's hilarious. Now we're at a lull. Stop.
We all know what that sound means. It is, oh my god.
We all know the sound of the didgeridoo. It's mail time. This time in the mail, it's a letter that just says, not funny. It doesn't say anything.
It says verbatim, eat shit. I don't know who sent it to me, but it's rather funny.
It's labeled from Nick to Nick. Oh, that makes sense.
You mailed a letter.
I was drunk.
All right, we've all been there.
Junior legal pad.
Not sponsored.
Could you imagine being like the court of law? It's like, and this is my apprentice. He's just sitting in. That's fine. I'll allow it for this one. He even has his junior legal pad, sir. He's real professional. I'm sorry. His junior legal pad? Yeah, he's writing all the notes. Hey, what'd you guys say after I'm sorry?
Excuse me, Judge?
Can I go use the bathroom? It's May. Sorry, May.
Excuse me, sir.
Konichi.
I stood up and bowed. Excuse me.
They're gonna think you're... I probably can't say that on...
You probably can. I'll probably bleep it. But also...
That would be funnier. They'll probably think you're...
And now, each subsequent time we say... I'm gonna bleep it again, and they're not gonna know what word we're saying.
That's funny. Well, anyway, we gotta...
Beep, beep. Yeah, that's what I was literally thinking about. I'm probably gonna make it a beep, beep. And it's gonna be pretty funny, actually.
It's kind of like Logan with a joke about Nig. And then Gur.
I've seen those TikToks. Those are actually really fucking funny. Objectively.
How?
Oh,
speaking of TikToks. The reason why I would like for you to stay in the city tonight is because I would like to do that TikTok I showed you yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, not yesterday, but today before you got here.
Mere hours ago.
Yes, minutes, if you will. But it's of a man who gets this pizza from Little Caesars, not a sponsor, and he puts mozzarella cheese on it, on like one half of it, and he gets tacos from Taco Bell, not a sponsor, and he breaks them in half and puts them on there, and then he puts a little bit more mozzarella cheese, some marinara sauce, and some garlic butter and stuff like that. And then he puts, he gets McDoubles from McDonald's, not a sponsor, and he cuts those in half, puts those on there. He gets the fries from McDonald's, not a sponsor, and puts those on there. And then he gets the chicken McNuggets from McDonald's, and he puts those on there. Oh, wait, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, thank you. I was about to...
McDonald's is not a sponsor. But
we welcome you.
And then he put a bunch of more sauce and more, fresh mozzarella cheese.
Absolutely.
And he rolled it up and put some twine on that boy and, put garlic butter over it and baked it in the oven. And made a crunchy pizza burrito.
And for the video portion of this podcast, I will definitely be putting to the side that video, probably. Definitely, probably. Just so you can get a visual. I might link the TikTok in the description, but...
There you go. I would just link it so the dude gets some type of credit.
Wait, no, I'm definitely going to link it. I don't want to leave him out of his credit. Yeah. But I think it'd be important to see a visual. Gabe. Screw Gabe, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I'm not going to bring up any names of our friends, but Shy dumped Noah. You're going to have to cut that entire...
It's going to be bleep, bleep, bleep.
But I'm not going to mention any names.
It's going to be bleep, bleep, Noah.
That's comedy if I ever heard. So, like... So he was heading this way, and he called me at like...
Well, he said about 45 minutes. It was about
He said he was on his way. He didn't say any time. He said, I'm heading your way.
I'm pretty sure he said I'm pretty sure I heard him say about 45 minutes.
I wasn't here.
Man,
You're not even close.
I'm not even close to covering the camera. No, I think we're good. Here's an idea. I'm also kind of stealing this. Oh, way back in the beginning, I brought up if you'd ever watched Ryan Higa's podcast. I stole the claps from him. Actually, that's the way that they start their podcasts to like sync the audio. They just clap. And it's a way to know the audio versus the video.
Like,
just like, and it'll be like. That's
dude, I think my apartment's haunted.
Well, here's what I was gonna say.
Cuts off there.
I'm gonna steal another bit from Higa. We're gonna take a break. He calls it a shishi break, which is like a pee-pee break in Pidgin, because he's from Hawaii. It's like a native.
They speak
language.
bird.
We'll be back.